Well, here's a rather light-hearted review about an old cartoon, Donkey Kong Jr. It was made in the early 1980s when I was a kid. I didn't see many of the Saturday Supercade cartoons back then, but I did play a lot of video games on the ColecoVision system my parents bought. Cartoons back then were very different from the ones of today. That much is obvious. Slapstick humor was a lot more prevalent, but it didn't have much in the way of gross humor, which is fine because I'm not a big fan of it anyway. Animation was simple, and so was the art. Storylines were simple as well, but the jokes were quite creative. Yes, the cartoons do look corny nowadays, and maybe they didn't age very well, but for cartoons that were made to sell video games, they were very good and they had their own universes and storylines. Kids could play pretend games even if they didn't have their own game systems or quarters to feed the arcade machines. Anyway, Donkey Kong Jr. may be old, but it does bring out a lot of nostalgia. In this cartoon, Junior is looking for his papa, Donkey Kong. He teams up with a teenager named Bones, and they go on a lot of misadventures in their search for Junior's papa. I've noticed that in this cartoon, even with all the slapstick and potential political incorrectness, there is a special bond of friendship between Junior and Bones. For example, Bones, often through his clumsiness, botches up Junior's plan to foil the bad guys, but Junior is very forgiving. I haven't noticed him getting angry with Bones at all. He's all about getting the bad guys and saving the day, not holding a grudge. And being someone who can hold a grudge for a long time, that is both sobering and refreshing. It shows a very optimistic worldview that there are good people in this world. For every nasty person who goes around murdering, hurting, robbing, or spreading false reports, there is also someone who is actively doing things to help and comfort others. Bones and Junior will go to great lengths to recover stolen money and rescue kidnapped victims, or protect those who they suspect are in danger. I think it's important for kids to know that there are people who will help them in real life. Also, when Bones slips up, Junior gives a few words of encouragement to tell him to bounce back and get moving. He doesn't even make a snarky remark about Bones's clumsiness, but instead generally shows concern if Bones is in danger. It's good to know that if you are going through a rough time, you can bounce back, and there is someone out there who can help you. There is a friend who will help you through rough times and rescue you if you're in trouble. Another thing I like about this series is the simple morals that it teaches. Take action if you see someone doing something wrong. I know that in real life there can be some gray areas, but most of the time in this series, good guys are good and bad guys are bad. The bad guys aren't showing having any Freudian excuses or the like. Good guys win, bad guys lose. Considering the political climate in America today, we need to abandon some of the moral relativism we've been fed. We need to have more respect for the police and for the right to free speech and expression. It is wrong to tolerate the rioting, violence, and looting that resulted from Donald Trump becoming our new president. Instead, we need to learn to live with each other and respect other points of view, as well as forgive people for social mistakes or microaggressions. since the people committing these microaggressions are obviously not doing them out of spite. One can also notice the great amount of respect between Bones and Junior. They help each other in any way they can, and neither one will abandon the other for personal gain. They work as a team, and you mess with one, you mess with both of them. If either one makes a mistake, they are quick to apologize and accept apologies. We can learn a lot of lessons from the Donkey Kong Jr. cartoon. Goodness, friendship, forgiveness, sacrifice, and priorities. Now, I know I do tend to be rough around the edges, but I also believe that we could all use some positivity. Also, a little nugget of advice for someone who flamed me. Respect is a two-way street, and people will judge you by the words you use. Now, catch you later, my titmice. I'm out.